Hey all, Chad Schaefer here with Home Envy Realty, and we're kicking off our new YouTube series called We Ask the Professionals. Today we're sitting down with Luke Lauer from Sky Palm Studios to pull back the curtain on what actually makes real estate marketing work. We talk about property videos that convert, why some agents build massive visibility while others stay invisible, and what a strong social media presence really does for sellers behind the scenes. So Luke, how long should a real estate property video really be?
To make a video that has the most impact on social media, because there's really two different kinds of videos that are commonly seen for real estate, and that would be your social media marketing videos, which those normally are about 45 to 90 seconds. But then you have your all-encompassing property video. Those normally run 2 to 3 minutes, and those are a little slower paced. Those are more so that buyer who's really interested in seeing the property and potentially living in this property, they're going to want to be able to really digest and see everything about the property. However, to get people interested in the property and through social media posting and all of that, you're going to want to have a little bit shorter of a video that's a little catchier.
Yeah, it makes sense because I know having that short video before the long one, it's kind of like a nice little teaser, so it works out pretty well.
Right. I mean, it draws a person from one to the other.
In your opinion, what are the biggest mistakes an agent makes when doing a listing video?
The biggest thing is it has to be different. If you don't do something different, it's just going to be noise in the void of all the other videos. So finding a way to pull the personality out of the realtor is what's most important because every person's identity and traits and everything are different, and that's what makes you unique as a person. So digging into it, really putting time into your own marketing, your own personal brand is very important. So
It makes sense. I mean, having your personal presence in your brand is what's going to bring you the customers that you work best with. So it makes total sense.
absolutely.
What is the fastest way an agent can build their brand online?
First of all, personality is the biggest thing, and then consistency. So you're going to want to have consistent posting, consistent appearance, and also just make sure that you are in front of as many people as possible, as often as possible. It's also going to be putting maybe some money behind it, just simple Instagram boosting and things like that that push you out in front of the community that you want to be in front of. Because on Instagram, you can put the zone that you want to reach, and then that's going to be the demographic of people, the age of people that you want to be in front of, and it's cheap too. I mean, you can reach 3 or 4 thousand people with a $30 budget or even $50 budget, $10 a day, so there's a lot of different things that you can do, but the biggest thing is just consistency, quality, and just making sure you give whenever you're making these videos. It's not just about you, it's not just about what you're doing, but rather how can you help the upcoming agents? How can you help the average home buyer who doesn't know anything about home buying or anything like that?
I appreciate you saying that because that was the thing and why I love working with you and your team so much because it's the consistency factor. When I started my own brokerage, I said to all of the agents, we do not take our own photos. We hire professionals. It doesn't matter the price of the home because that's what sells a house. You've got to make it look professional. We're in a marketing business. So I appreciate that. And I hope the viewers watching appreciate it too because it is a key point to
Yeah,
getting
you could
good
you could
marketing.
save a few bucks on a listing if you really want to save a few dollars, but the chances of you missing the next opportunity is really high if they don't think that you versus another realtor is going to put the time that it needs into the listing.
Why do you feel some agents really blow up online and others just kind of flatline and don't really go anywhere?
A lot of people blow up whenever they innovate in the industry. Whenever they innovate, they create new content, they create new ways of doing things.
Okay.
That's why they blow up. People that chase trends and only copy trends, it's gonna work sometimes. People are gonna catch on to it. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be fun to watch. But then it's all going to be mundane and just the same. So the biggest thing is not just chasing trends, but trying to also set a trend potentially by doing something different. It's also another aspect of it is the algorithm. Is the algorithm in your favor or not? And sometimes it just picks up and takes off, and sometimes it doesn't. One of the first things that we filmed with you was your garden, and you're just talking about health and wellness, but you tie it into your mission of why you're doing what you're doing, and that's just something that's different. And that content did well because people felt like you were pouring into them in a different way, and there was something they might not have been expecting. So
It's funny that you bring that up because what's interesting too, and what I've sort of seen in my research, and actually what you and I and your team even talked about, is the algorithm does kind of pick up on trends, like you said, and it kind of tests like, oh, this maybe a garden, but it's kind of related to a house. So I feel like it sometimes kind of tricks the algorithm too to be like, hey, this is kind of new content, so let's throw this out there a little bit more and see what else we get. And it's kind of cool how that all plays out. What benefits do sellers have hiring an agent like me and my company who invest in social media and building a strong presence against somebody that maybe doesn't?
If you look at a company and they care enough to invest into themselves in that way, they're going to invest into their clients and they're going to make sure their clients succeed. Even like a restaurant that has a menu, it never changes, or they don't take client and customer feedback or anything like that, and they just stay put and consistent but not growing, they're going to not keep that traction. And for you and for what you're doing with your brokerage, you're going to keep learning, growing, and innovating the way that you're doing things. That should be just the biggest green light to any client who sees you and what you're doing, because they know that you care about your presence in the community. You care about what people think about your brokerage and yourself.
And it's interesting that you say that because the big thing that I have learned is in especially a market like we're in right now where it's kind of changing. Back in the day, it was you were on the market for 5 days and got 5 offers. Well, now you could be on the market for 5 months and not get an offer. When it's slower like that, activity is really happening online. And if you're not there and being present online and being able to track that, when I can turn around and say, well, look at this video that we did of your home and you've now got 2,500 views. And now we look at, other real estate websites and they're saying you've had all these clicks and these saves, even though you may not be getting a showing right now, your property is still being seen. And when you pair that with when we're looking at our office and we're saying, okay, well, is it just this listing that's kind of dead right now or all of them? It's amazing to say, okay, well, overall, all of the listings aren't really getting showings right now. However, they're getting seen online. You're getting phone calls that way. And so even though you're not having foot traffic, you're seeing really what's happening. Buyers are maybe just hesitant and they're sitting and they're waiting, but they're still seeing your property. So having that to feed a seller is so important.
Yeah,
So,
especially
yeah.
whenever you're following on social media is people in your area, in your region, and your community. It might be of the 2,500 views on a video, it might only be that 800 of them or so are actually in Gainesville.
Yep.
But that's still 800 more eyes than would have seen it than, on the other hand of things, whenever
Yeah.
you don't have those things posted and whatnot, and that you're not pushing it on social media and those items. So that's very important. So.
We do have some tools within our brokerage that does say, where are your views coming from? And it actually ties into your social media and everything else. And if you're seeing, hey, we've got a bunch of views coming from New York and California and over here, and then you're kind of noticing, hey, that may be where the buyer pool is right now. And then you put a little bit more effort there. It's interesting that that's sometimes where you pull the buyer from.
Right, for
So,
sure.
and it's those algorithms and watching that and seeing what's happening that really, even though you're not getting the foot traffic, it's that blow up
And
online.
that's where even the boosting the post on Facebook, meta ads and all that through Instagram, Facebook, and all those is good, because you can target your area, you can target other areas. You put not that much money behind it, and at least you can also get even other metrics and track, how that did. Because you choose the call to action. You choose if you want them to visit a listing, if you want them to visit a profile, a website, whatever it is. It's all just a great value to brokerage, but also to all the clients that y'all have. So.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. If anyone is out there looking for an incredible marketing company, a team to help you with your social media and to grow your presence, you need to call the Sky Palm team because they will help you.
We're here for you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. I really
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
You
Yes,
bet.
sir.